These two teams looking to either stop the skid or keep on their momentum. 4 straight losses to open the tournament for the Terrafirma Jeep. As for the San Miguel Beermen, after 1 loss to open up the tournament, they have gone on 3 straight wins. Can they continue to win? Or will Terrafirma put the first dent on their record? That's what we'll find out today. Judd Sulit here together with Coach Vince Hizon as we take a look at this matchup happening in the restart of the Philippine Cup over at the Dubsu Gym in Bacolor, Pampanga. Let's take a look at the last games. I know it's been a month, but the last game that Terrafirma had was against Rain or Shine. They fell behind, almost got their first win, but went down by 6 points.
Yeah, it was very close, but again, just not quite enough. They were down in points, obviously by 6, down in assists by a 7. That's a telling sign as well. Didn't shoot particularly great in the 3-point land. It was not as good as Rain or Shine anyway, and only shot 12 free throws. So that tells me right there that they're not really attacking the basket like they need to. They need to find a way to get inside to get those free throws, get that contact, but it's not going to be easy.
Absolutely. And you talk about Terrafirma, there's Rashawn McCarthy. He will have to step up and absorb a bigger responsibility as the #1 overall pick.
Oh yeah.
He has been ruled out of the Philippine Cup due to an injury. And it's unfortunate because he was just starting to get a grip of the PBA game and what he really needs to do for Terrafirma.
Yeah, in fact, I was covering that game where it turns out it was a fracture in his hand, and he was actually playing well. Defenses are really keying on him, making sure that he doesn't get enough space to move around easily. But despite that, he's still scoring 12 points, about 2 rebounds a game. He's doing pretty good from assists and averaging about 34% from the field. So again, he's a guy who definitely has all the future in the world going forward, but he just can't play right now because of that hurt hand.
Absolutely. And let's take a look now at the last game that San Miguel played, and this was against something that they won pretty convincingly against Blackwater by 19 points. And look at the numbers here, Coach.
Yeah, it's not just a matter of winning, it's a matter of winning convincingly. And indeed, they did that against Blackwater in that last game. Obviously, winning by almost 20 points, but really dominating the boards, 53-43. As we know, they should with the guys like that cracking around. Shot a lot more free throws, 9, and converted most of them. Really shot a high percentage from the free throws line as well. So again, San Miguel is doing what San Miguel does. I mean, they're strong inside. They're very solid. Around the block, but they also got guys who can mix it up, like that guy right there, CJ Perez.
Yeah, and when you talk about San Miguel, you obviously have to talk about Junmar Fajardo, the Kraken, the 6-time MVP. He's back, and the first game that he played, it was sort of a feeling out game against Meralco when they lost. Played only 18 minutes and was really limited. But since then, in the 3 wins, he stepped it up.
Yeah, well, he was on a limited minutes or a minutes restriction, I guess you could say, from the doctors as well. So, it's good to see he's back to full health and he's doing well. Of course, it's still fresh now in his mind as well, the sudden passing of his mother, and our hearts and prayers go out to him for that. But surely the Kraken is playing inspired basketball now, I'm sure as a tribute as well to his mother.
Absolutely, and again, you're absolutely correct when we say our prayers are definitely with Junmar Fajardo. We know that his mother is a large part of why he is the very nice guy, the very humble 6-time MVP that he is. And Junmar will definitely, we expect him to play and offer this conference to his mom. But he is getting help there with CJ Perez, the new addition to the San Miguel squad, as if they weren't already extra strong.
Oh my goodness. Leading off the bench, CJ Perez. I mean, this guy, 18, almost 17 and a half points, I should say, 6 boards, 2 steals, shooting a whopping 45% from the field. He might be playing off the bench, but that does not diminish his role at all. So outside of Romeo, only played a single game so far, Perez has been the leading scorer for San Miguel. So again, definitely leading off of the bench is CJ Paris.
And that's exactly why San Miguel has become so scary because, over the years they have built not only that strong five that has brought them championships in Fajardo, Santos, Lassiter, Ross, and Cabagnot. They have built a secondary unit, and something as well that we see is Terrence Romeo right there, who walked at the bottom of your screens. Looks like he is gonna be ready to go, and we'll see. And that's a development that will definitely
second game of
be
our
on the
triple header
lookout for.
features Terrafirma Dyip going up against the San Miguel Beermen. And now let's meet the starters. First, for Terrafirma Dyip, a 5'8" guard from Silay Negros Occidental, number 8, JP Calvo. A 5'10" guard from Mandaluyong City, number 5, Huami Tiongson. A 6'5" forward from Malaya Clan, number 10, Andreas Kahilig. A 6'7" forward from Cebu City, number 17, Aldrich Ramos. And a 6'10" center from Caloocan City, number 1, James Lapud. Head coach for Terrafirma is John Cardel. And now the starters for the San Miguel Beermen. A 5'9" guard from Imus Cavite, number 7, Terrence Romeo. A 6'2" guard from La Paz Leyte, number 6, Chris Ross. A 6'3" forward from Ilocos Sur, number 13, Marshall Lassiter. A 6'4" forward from Lubao, Pampanga, number 29, Arwin Santos. And a 6'10" center from Pinamawahan, Cebu, number 15, Junmar Fajardo. Head coach for San Miguel is Leo Austria. Our referees for this game, Jimmy Mariano, Albert Nubla, Jeff.
Terrence Romeo right into the starting unit of the San Miguel Beermen, and that is a big plus for them. Again, for those of you who didn't catch the earlier part of this tournament, it was in the very first game of SMB in the fourth quarter when Romeo went down with what initially looked like a scary knee injury. He's back here for SMB. This tip-off is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. But some reports that we're hearing, Coach Vince, is that Cabagnot might not be available for them.
Yeah, there's been some reports that he had a knee injury of some sorts. They're still trying to figure out exactly what it was and what to do going forward. Him as well, our hearts and prayers go out to, Cabagnot. Injuries are never fun, especially knees.
Definitely, and this is a great sight for San Miguel, having Terrence Romeo there. And in that first game, when he went down with an injury, he was actually playing very well. But let's talk about this. James Laput against Junmar Fajardo. A bucket for Fajardo on one side, a bucket for Laput on the other. And Laput, he may have grown up in the US, not exactly here, but when you talk about Philippine basketball, he says Junmar is truly his idol, and he even compares it to how Kobe Bryant looks up to Michael Jordan. He says if he's Kobe, then Junmar is his MJ.
Wow. Again, a big tribute to the Kraken there, as we see pretty much it should be an easy basket. Don't even know why.
I think Marshall was trying to get Junmar a dunk.
Yeah, I think so. But again, this team is tough. The Terrafirma Dyip, they got Lapwood, who's had, the 4 points of Terrafirma. He's a big kid. He's 6'10", not to be taken lightly at all. And if he's gonna follow in the footsteps of anybody, why not do it with the best guy around? And that's the multi MVP guy, and that's the Kraken.
We say that we're really just glad to see Terrence Romeo out here for SMB for 2 reasons. Again, he hurt himself back in the first game, but also going back to last year in the bubble. Remember how only 3 games in for SMB in the 3rd game, Romeo dislocated his shoulder and had to exit the bubble. Never returned to SMB in that tournament. He's had gone through a few challenges over the last year, and that Terrence is just resilient, and He's passionate about basketball.
Yeah, injuries are just a part of it. I mean, they're going to happen. And it's just a matter of you just pray that when they do, they're not too devastating. But, you know, let's just also pray that, you know, he's had the time to really get his body back and, you know, do the therapies and all the things that are necessary to get strong again. So, you know, I'm just honestly surprised to see him out here now starting after seeing that injury from, you know, just a short time ago with, I think it was both the ankle and the knee, most notably the knee. But, again, he's out here and he's aggressive. He's taking 2 shots. I think he's starting to get his feel.
And you know what? When he got injured with his knee in the first game against Meralco, he actually told our courtside reporter Carlo Lizardo that he heard a pop.
Yeah, that's not good.
So everyone was scared, and I even saw, you know, when that news was delivered to San Miguel officials, and they were disheartened. You could see the reaction.
Yeah,
so
of course.
Romeo getting back here for SMB is a big boost.
Yeah, because when you think of like guys who are explosive, I mean, one of the guys you always got to think of is Terrence Romeo.
Oh yeah.
There's no quicker jitterbug, as I say, in the league, and you know, when he's got problems like that's a big blow.
And if there's a guy who comes into the PBA from now on, and you see him explosive with his dribble moves, you can only assume that he was inspired by Romeo growing up.
Just like Allen Iverson inspired a lot of guys, you know, playing the PBA with all of his crossovers and crazy stuff like that before. I'm sure Terrence Romeo is the inspiration for many kids coming up as well.
But for the side of Terrafirma, they're keeping in step with San Miguel right now early in this game. But that's also a huge blow for them to lose Monzon for the rest of the tournament.
Your future is not there right now, but again, you can look at it in a number of ways. I think the best way if you're a player is, hey, this is an opportunity, because the points that the time that guy would have got is now your time and your opportunities.
So the #1 overall pick of the recent draft is unavailable for the rest of the Philippine Cup. The #1 overall pick from the draft 2 years ago, which is the second most recent draft, is Roosevelt Adams. And we're getting word that he won't be available for today as well,
Oh no.
as he is suffering from diarrhea. So that's 2 very, very important pieces that Terrafirma will not have against a rolling SMB.
You know, even if you're at 100% strength, San Miguel is one of the most formidable foes. But, you know, every time you take out a piece of the puzzle, you're just really limiting your opportunities going forward to try to beat one of the powerhouses in San Miguel.
The last time the Terrafirma played in that close game against Rain or Shine, they also did not have Monzon, and they did not have Rashawn McCarthy. So, you know, it's also been tough in terms of breaks for the Jeep.
Wow, Chongson tried to challenge the Kraken, and the Kraken said, nope, not going to happen today, buddy.
But you know what, if there's one guy who might have to step up even more for Terrafirma, it might have to be Wami Tiongson. Because remember when he was with NLEX, he rose to the challenge of not having Kiefer Ravena and Kevin Alas in that lineup. And with 2 key guys not here for Terrafirma, Wami might be the guy that they look to.
You know, in the games that I've covered, he's really done a lot of good things for his team. I mean, really coming up with the big plays, hitting the big shots when the need arises. So, you know, if you're thinking of, for me, first option for the Terrafirma Jeep, it's Chongson.
Look at Romeo. Looks like he's definitely healthy now.
Wow. I think he learned that from Marlo Aquino. That was kind of the Kili shot. So.
How about a new hairdo for Terrence as
Yeah,
well?
there you go. There's kind of a lot of new hairdos in Pampanga these days.
I'm telling you, it's the Glenn Cobuntin
Yeah,
barbershop
I
over
think,
there.
I think it might be. Pretty soon we're all going to be joining the Poi Aram Hair Dye Institute or something as well.
But you know, it's actually quite unfamiliar now to see Terrence with short hair. We've been used so long to him wearing a lot longer cut.
I stand corrected. I was surprised to see Romeo playing, but I was even more surprised probably at first to see his hair. I'm like, wow, it's short. No, seriously, it's good to see. You know, as a former player myself, I never like to see injuries in players, and
Absolutely.
it's good to see him come back.
Arwin Santos was, super efficient in the first few games of San Miguel, and he continues to be so.
And talk about a guy who also has a sort of homecoming here in Pampanga. He loves Pampanga.
That's right.
Great guy, and he hasn't lost any effectiveness throughout all the years he's been in the league.
Oh yeah, and I mean, Jumar Fajardo has won the last 6 MVP awards. Remember who won before him? It was Arwin Santos, the 2013 PBA MVP. At that time, Joseph Gabayni getting the better of him. And you see Arwin shaking his head. He did have this three-pointer though before that happened. We have a timeout brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Moto Tua, his numbers dipped from last year's bubble because last year in the bubble there was no Junmar Fajardo for SMB. He was nursing that injury. But that doesn't mean that Mo will be less helpful for SMB.
Even with Fajardo back in that lineup, Tua is showing he can still carve out solid numbers. And, they always say, fear the beer. Well, with names like the Kraken and the Monster in your lineup, I'm fearing the beer.
Well, you know what? Asi Taulava would disagree that Mo is the monster because he calls Mo Pebbles.
Well, we call him Monster Mo. So, Monster and the Kraken, as we look at the haircut.
Right. And also that three-pointer. I don't think we've really seen the full potential of a lineup, of this San Miguel lineup that has Perez, that has Tautua, that has Romeo, and again, that still has that Fab Five that won them so many Philippine Cup championships. And we don't know if for how long Cabagnot would be out because of that injury that we've been hearing of, but it's sort of unfortunate for SMB, but they still are one of the deepest lineups and most potent lineups on paper.
Oh, yeah. When you look at it from top to bottom, they got guys who can contribute. And we're stars on not just teams in college, but teams in the PBA. And then they come over here and they're second team, coming off the bench. And wow, these guys are amazing in their former teams, but here they're second teamers.
It's a tall task for Terrafirma, but what do you like about teams and players going up against the powerhouses of the PBA? They always play with a chip on their shoulder. It's a date that's always marked on their calendars where they say, okay, I want to play my best game against this team because this is one of the most respected teams in the league.
Yeah, you could look at it like that, but I'm sure some of them are saying, I fear the beer, and I pray I don't get annihilated on this date as well. So that's another way of looking at how they view their calendars.
Well, what does Terrafirma need to focus on, you feel, Coach, for them to be able to keep in step at least with SMB?
You got to be basic. There's no way around it because they're so multifaceted. You want to slow it down, they can slow it down. You want to speed it up, they can speed it up. You want to go big, you want to go. Basically, anything you throw at them, they got the answer. So you just want to be basic and just execute, 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 not miss shots if you can do it. And if you do that, you have a chance.
This is the first time that CJ Perez is facing his former team. Just last bubble, Perez was playing for Terrafirma. Patilier with the steal there. A couple of stops for the Jeep. Comes on, challenging Santos, and he gets the bucket. Will have a chance to tie it up. That's going to be the second foul on Arwin.
The big, strong guy comes on. Nice pass there by Rosser to open McCarthy in the corner. As we see Kempson go up, get a little contact. You can see the foul wasn't really upstairs. Arwin kind of nudged him with his lower body.
Hey, you can be a virtual fan of the PBA. You can register, and the link will be posted the day before each PBA game day on the PBA Rush and One Sports Facebook page. And we might not be making the trip over to Bacolor, Pampanga. You might not be closer to authentic sisig. You can at least be there to show your support to your favorite PBA teams and players. So get on that registration link.
Oh, you had to go there. You started mentioning food in Pampanga. They go together, right?
Oh man, anytime the PBA, back then when we would be having the chance to travel there with the PBA on out-of-town games, I would try to call dibs on Pampanga just to get some sisig on the way home.
Oh, wow. Jet, before I used to think you were just smart, but you have great taste as well. Can't stop eating the food. Oh man, the curry curry.
Yeah, let's try to stay away from that topic. It's making me hungry.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but we're having a food break here.
We'll be back after a few minutes. Man, Terrence Romeo takes a seat right now. It's a well-deserved rest. Only has 5 points, but it's more than the numbers. It's the impact that you feel he made for SMB. His presence alone.
Yeah. The fact that he is out there getting his rhythm going is a very good sign. I thought he'd be out for at least a few more weeks, but he's back. And that's just a tribute as well to his resiliency. I mean, it looked like it was, the word is grave. It looked like it was a bad injury that I don't know if he's going to recover from that one for some time. But again, he did what he had to do to get himself back in playing shape and form, and he's doing pretty good.
At the same time, you have to acknowledge how guys like Paul Zamar, Bambam Gamalinda, Von Pesumal, they stepped up during the time that San Diego was incomplete. They were without one of the league's best scorers in Terrence Romeo. They contributed well and
again
helped get those 3 wins.
That San Miguel depth is really, I can't say second to none, because I could think of maybe Talking Tex being that deep as far as top to bottom on their roster. But that is a very deep bench that coach Leo Austria, who's only won 5 all Filipino titles in the PBA. You know, this is a guy who knows how to make the most out of his lineup, and with a lineup like that, you can go very, very far.
Well, we're talking about depth, and it's one thing, to say, oh yeah, they're good players, but it's not just that. There's proof. You take a look at the individual accolades that these players have collected. Junmar Fajar, the six-time MVP. Arwin Santos, MVP. And then,
Wow, what a move!
yeah, that was spectacular one. Missed it though.
Slipped out of his hands.
CJ Perez is, the scoring champion of the last 2 years of the PBA. The first guy to win the to be scoring champion in his first 2 years in the league. And
Right.
Terrence Romeo, obviously a 3-time scoring champion as well.
These guys really definitely know how to play basketball on a big time level. And you know what's interesting to note? It's so easy to say, okay, you put all these guys out there, go play, you're gonna win. No, you know these are guys that they have handpicked, they've hand developed. You know, you got to give kudos to Coach Leo Austria and his staff for getting them all on the same page, because it's
Right.
difficult, because all these guys think they're the stars, because they were stars on maybe other teams before they came here. All of a sudden they come here, they're just one of, instead of the star, they're one of the stars. So to get them all, thinking team instead of just me is a real tribute to how Coach Leo Austria has really brought this team together.
Yeah, and everyone has bought into the system. But Terrafirma showing a lot of fight here in the first quarter. We're tied up at 16. This is shaping up to be a great game. But Terrafirma, the challenge, it's something that we mentioned earlier again with Blackwater. The challenge is to stay consistent throughout the entire game. Because I think, Coach Vince, something that we saw with Terrafirma, with Blackwater, they've had a lot of games like earlier. They would have great first half, but could not hold up that energy up until the final part of the game.
That's where they have to improve. I mean, teams adjust. And the question is, how will you readjust to their adjustment? And that's all the difference. Like, if I'm going to go right and you block me from going right, so I start going left, you got to make that adjustment, right? You got to say, okay, this is what you've done to change my game. I'm going to change. Now I'm going to make you change what I'm doing again. So, again, it is a constant sort of chess battle in that sense.
I think we can say that we've seen talent here in Terrafirma. They've also had the top pick over the last 3 drafts. Unfortunately, again, the last top picks that they had in Adams and Monzon will not be available today. Monzon out for the conference, but still a lot of talent there. Here's one of them, MGR, trying to go to McCarthy. Both of those guys previously with the San Miguel Beermen might know a thing or two about SMB.
I think they're going to call an offensive foul against McCarthy. Going for that pass that was meant for him, but I think he pushed off on Bam. He did push off on Bam, so he'll get the foul, turnover. Again, these little things, turnovers, missed free throws, huge repercussions against teams like this.
Yeah, and it's not just the turnover. It's just that teams like San Miguel, they pounce on little mistakes. They turn it into these runs, but that's what you have to do if you're Terrafirma. Make up for those little mistakes.
So that's one way of doing it right there. Just play good, solid defense. I like what they're doing. They're getting to the lanes. They're really not making passes easy. What San Miguel's, one of their big strengths is they can go what I call north to south. They can pass it from one wing to the other really quickly, and it really opens up opportunities for guys like the Kraken inside. But if you limit that, you take away at least one of the options that are usually one of their strengths.
Half a minute remaining here, and a foul there on SMB on Mo Tautua. They will send Terrafirma to the free throw line. You're liking the balance, with the aggressiveness and the IQ that Terrafirma is showing here in the first quarter.
again, it's got to start on defense. You know, when you're starting with a lineup that isn't as big as the other team, I think we saw this a while ago with Talking Tex and Blackwater as well. You either go faster or just start shooting from farther. So I suggest you go faster. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're not going to get the ball, you know, at the block against the Kraken and the Monster that easy. But, you know, you just got to do what you got to do. So I think going a little faster is probably their best move, and hopefully they can make good big shots.
Gamalinda, top of the key jumper, rolls out. You know, Gabayni has been a revelation for Terrafirma in this tournament. There he is, hustling after the basketball. I remember it was that game against Rain or Shine that him and Calvo combined for 17 points in the first quarter alone.
He's a big kid, too. He's about 6'6", right? So, you know, he's only going to get better as he gets in even better shape. I think he can still do a little bit of work and get in better shape. But, you know, he's good now, but I think he could even get better.
Look at Terrafirma go off to a 3-point lead at the end of the first quarter. Thanks for tuning in to PBA Rush. We got a game here between the San Miguel Beermen and the Terrafirma Jeep. Terrafirma, again, you know, still looking for their first win of the Philippine Cup. As for San Miguel, they lost their first game against Meralco and then went on 3 straight wins. However, it's Terrafirma upright now by 3 points, entering the second quarter 19-16. And looking at the numbers, what they did, Coach Vince, was force 9 turnovers for San Miguel in the first quarter alone.
Yeah, they weren't taking very good care of the ball, but you know, I expect, you know, they're a very well-coached team as well. They're gonna get the message that they got to take better care of the ball and just execute better. And if they do that, good things will happen. McCarthy's pushed off on Rusamal, but they're gonna call the initial hold. Samal's kind of bulked up. Looks like he's been hitting the weight room.
Yeah, and you know, I also see that a lot of players have set up their own little mini gyms at home, right? And
me too.
There you go. I think I should do that.
You know, I even got my kids working out. I'm like a daddy coach at home. But you know, it's you have to adjust. It's not like you can just say, "Here's my my card. I'm gonna go walk into the nearest gym down the street." You know, you kind of want to be safe these days.
Absolutely. I mean, that's also the biggest reason why the PBA decided to put the current tournament on pause and resume it in this bubble setup. With, of course, the safety not just of the teams, players, and individuals involved in the games, but also, you know, preventing the spread of COVID to, you know, other people, even those who aren't directly related to the league, right? It's a huge sacrifice that the league made. So again,
it is.
Our hats off. We tip our hats off to the PBA.
Of course, and you know, it's not an easy thing for them to do. As we look at this explosive play once again by CJ Perez, you know, the sacrifices, like you said, that they have made to make sure these games still happen in a safe manner have been tremendous. And you know, they've worked very closely with the IATF and all of the different departments involved that are necessary to make sure that these games are not just done well, but done safely.
Terrafirma staying on top here by 1 point, 21-20. But CJ Perez slices down the middle. A beautiful pass from Tautua.
Beautiful pass indeed. And it was just a simple, I'll say backdoor, but he just cut and he went right to the basket. CJ Perez knows what to do once he has that ball.
And he seems to have a strong connection with Tautua. We've seen that play several times already in the previous games of SMB. But again, like we said, Wami Tiongson will be challenged to step up, and he's someone, coach, who won't be shy, won't hesitate that if he's needed to produce more, to be more aggressive in creating for himself. He's up for that challenge.
Yeah, and he's got that ability. Let's just see if he can make it happen against some of the best defenders, in the league, especially like guys like Ross. When they get on him, he can really put the locks on you.
McCarthy also helping out. He did miss that last game, that loss to Rain or Shine. Almost a steal there. Perez likes that spin to the right. Second time he missed the shot though. 4-point lead for Terrafirma.
Defensive transition, something I think San Miguel should take note of. They're a little slow to get down court. Of course, that could be part of the, getting back into playing game shape. But if Terrafirma takes advantage of that, they can really get some easy baskets.
Yeah, and you know that Terrafirma is a team that has always liked to run. That's been an identity for them. What San Miguel does best, or does very well at least, is get second chance points. They are the #1 in the league in terms of that, averaging 17.3. So they lead the rebounding right now, 17-13. If you're Terrafirma, you want to be able to address that and try and limit the rebounds of SMB.
As we watch Chongsa go backdoor. So guys are getting into the passing lane, and the good thing is, if you're on offense, is you just make a little move, you go backdoor, you're wide open.
Here now is Ganuelas Rosser. You see the assist count on your screens, 9 already for Terrafirma. Most of the buckets they've gotten have been off of ball rotation and just great spotting of open teammates. Like that.
Uh-oh, wide open. This is a guy who I think has such an upside. You're talking about Matt Rosser. He's got such an ability to, first of all, he's so long. He's a great defender. But I think he's just lost his confidence so much in the past few teams he's had. He just doesn't even look at the rim to, take those shots, even when he's open. So something he needs to work on. It's encouraging that he actually took the last shot going forward because, at least they got him thinking as well. You got to get your offense, because if you can't even take a wide open shot, at least attempt it, then you're just a liability out there. So he has to go look for those shots more.
Here we have SMB trying to up the pace. Perez going to Tautua. They connect usually when it's Tautua passing to Perez, but the other way around, and Mo screaming out of frustration, and CJ looks surprised.
Yeah, I think he's just looking like, what is wrong with you? Hey, CJ, he's the monster. Don't get him riled up, man. Just make sure you give him better passes.
I think Mo is saying, hey, I gave you a good pass earlier. Give me a good one as well.
Turnovers really coming to the fore here. San Miguel with 10, Terrafirma with only 6, and that's too many. In a basketball game, our coach would always say, if we limit the other team to or make them have more than 13 turnovers, we like our chances going forward. But 10, and we're 7 minutes left in the second period is not a good number.
Well, San Miguel, that is definitely a point of weakness for them. They are dead last in the league in terms of turnovers because they have the highest average, 18 a game, and they're already past their past half of their average with 7 minutes remaining in the second quarter.
And they're Mr. Dependable when it comes to, like, not really turning the ball over well is Cabagnon, and he's not playing tonight because of that injury of his. So this is a growing up, I guess you could say, period right now for San Miguel.
And again, Terrafirma, they love getting out in transition. So the more times that SMB turns that ball over, that might mean more chances in transition for Terrafirma. However, the Jeep getting called for a foul there. Aldrich Ramos, there's only so much you can do trying to box Junmar Fajardo out.
No, he needs like 2 or 3 guys to block him out easily. But, one-on-one, I don't think there's anybody in this league who can really block him out. Because he can not only outstrength you, just push you around, he can just literally go over you. So, best wishes on that block out.
There is a reason why that guy is a 6-time MVP. Reasons like that.
Just an easy tip in. And we can see he's moving more fluidly. Confidence obviously is up.
Junmar's averages, we took a look at it earlier, and it's right under 11 points and about 8 rebounds per game. And that's already a very respectable number for both those categories. But we know that it's not even probably 1/3, one half rather, of what Junmar can truly produce.
Correct. And coming off an injury, as we look at the crack and tip that ball in, I don't really, to be honest, look at his numbers and say, okay, is there anything to be concerned about? Again, the first half of this season, in fact, I'm saying I don't care exactly how many points you have. I just want to see you looking healthy, comfortable, and become playoff ready. Because once the playoff comes, then the stats are very important. But right now, not really. As we look at free throws, 0 out of 3 for San Miguel. Oh, wow. That's usually a team that's pretty solid from the free throw stripe. But again, a lot of rooms for improvement. Again, San Miguel, an impressive team, no doubt about it. One of the best teams in this league. They're 3-1, but they still have some things they can improve on, and that's kind of what's scary for the rest of the league.
Absolutely. When we talk about the numbers that Junmar averaged at least when he was healthy before that injury that kept him out for almost 2 years because of the delay in
yeah. Now that was a shin injury, right?
Right. A leg one, yeah.
Something. Was it a fracture? I don't remember the exact.
We'll update everyone. We'll try to get confirmation.
I just know it was a lower leg injury. But anyways.
Yeah, he was averaging 22 points and 12.5 rebounds a game. So, I mean, the 10 and 8 that he's averaging right now, far from what we know we can actually get from a 100% healthy Junmar Fajardo. But he does get called, or he might have gotten away with a foul there. And it looks like he's back to form, the Kraken, the MVP, scoring there. We have a timeout brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Junmar Fajardo, definitely back and definitely playing inspired basketball. Look at him, 6.6 rebounds, a couple of blocks. Looks like he's really slimmed down, even from how we first saw him in the start of this tournament, Coach. He was bulkier than he is now.
Well, he's starting to realize that you got to be in the best shape possible, and even if you're the MVP, you can still find ways to tweak your game and even your body to get in better shape and to be more effective. And he's shooting 75% from the field, including a nice 18-foot elbow jumper. He's back. Let's just put it that way. I don't think the limits or the minute limits are still there. He looks good, and he's got the confidence.
As we can see, San Miguel is definitely a team that benefited from that month-long break. They got Terrence Romeo back, allowed Junmar Fajardo a little bit more time, to get healthier than he was at the start of this tournament. Although, like we mentioned earlier, Junmar, coming off the loss, the difficult loss of his mom. But Junmar out there, the best way to honor, I believe, someone. For Junmar, the way he's honoring his mom is by trying to win another championship in SME.
Exactly, and he'll honor her even more with just his giving everything he has, and giving all the, first the glory and honor back to God, but really just saying, hey, this is for you, Mom. Thank you for leading me to where I am, to being the man that I am and the basketball player that I am. And I know his heart is hurting, and again, like once again, our heart and our prayers go off to him and his entire clan, and we just pray the best things for him.
Look at that repost. Look how smart he was with it. The moment he released that ball, Coach, he already repositioned himself.
That's I won't say a design play, but that's an instinct that coaches will instill in you. Pass the ball out, let the defense relax their legs just a little bit, go right into them, get even deeper position. And, when you're 7 foot and you're right under the basket, that's an easy thing to do. So, again, you mentioned it. It's a good thing for him and for guys like Terrence Romeo. They've had this time. I kind of call it the great PBA reset. Everybody got time to see how they play, see how their bodies are, and they've had some time off now to either hit the weight room or go to the gym, get more shots up, or to get in better shape, or to do their therapy, or whatever it is. So it's been an opportunity, this great PBA reset.
Ramos, he loves that midi. Hits it from the baseline.
Yeah, he's been doing that ever since he got in the league, and it looks just as good now as it did then. It's always nice to be about 6'6", 6'7", be able to hit that mid-range.
San Miguel has played catch-up for most of this first half. Frustrations there on the part of Terrafirma. I think the foul was on Reden Zelda, and Gabayni was sort of frustrated because he felt that he already had position, and he was about to get that rebound away from Junmar Fajardo. Oh, look at that play!
Look at that. Look at that play. Again, you can say that Junmar played a decoy on that one, and Arwen, because they all looked to the right, and there goes Romeo left, wide open.
That's the thing, when you have so many weapons, you give the opponent so many things to worry about.
Exactly.
Fajardo has advantage against Kahilig, but instead, it's Marshall getting money on the three.
Give credit to Ross for spotting Lasseter in rhythm on the other side, wide open. Nice shot.
And that secondary break, that trailing three-pointer, is one of the favorites of Marshall Lasseter. Got squared up, put it up, lit it up, giving San Miguel a 1-point lead after that three-pointer. saw 34 earlier when we went into a break, but they eventually ruled it a 3-pointer. So it's San Miguel up 35 to 34 here. It's the first time, coach, that they got up. You know, Terrafirma held that lead for quite a while, bridging the first and second quarters.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you can do that, first 21 minutes is on your side. That's a good sign. Now the question is, what will they do for the remainder of this game, especially when it comes to the end of this first half and going forward?
Well, definitely Terrafirma should have. They probably would have expected this comeback from SMB. This is a franchise that plays with so much pride, and firepower as well is on a high. Junmar Fajardo.
Just dragging him out. Junmar is the prototypical MVP-ish 7-footer that we all know and love. Oh my goodness. He can not only hurt you from the inside, from the shaded lane, he can bring you out, draw you out. If you don't guard him, he'll make it. If you do, he'll go around you and he'll, power it in. So again, there's really not a lot of weaknesses to his game.
I remember when he entered the league back in 2012. One of the things that they were saying about him was he was a big man with James Yap moves. And that jumper right there, that's a vintage James Yap jumper.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, again, feathery, soft touch. It's not really that common for a guy that big to be as quick as he is, and they're just going to keep pounding it down to him until they stop him. They really feel that they have the size advantage there.
And Terrafirma's throwing different defenders at Fajardo right now. Earlier it was Lapot, now it's Gabayni. Gabayni gives a different look. He's more physical. Might give off a couple of inches. But he's ready to bang with Junmar there down low as Jongson reclaims the advantage for Terrafirma.
Give credit to Terrafirma. I mean, they've really come today to really compete at the highest level. They're right there. They're right there against one of the powerhouses, giving them all they can handle.
Definitely something we can say, Coach Vince, is that Terrence Romeo is healthy. He is looking more like the Terrence Romeo that we know. Same thing with Junmar Fajardo. They've been going to Junmar, looks like more often than they did, even in the 3 games that they won. Really trying to create opportunities for the MVP.
Correct. And I've been noticing and watching the game of T-Rom, and the way I see it, I haven't seen any wincing, no ginger movements, nothing that looks like, hey, I'm still injured or I got a problem. But he does need to concentrate a little bit better on those free throws. So 0 out of 2 on the last strike.
Uncanny for him to miss like that.
When you have injuries, when you're a player, the first thing you always say to yourself is, what hurts? What hurts? Especially when you're coming off of an injury, coming back into playing, you're always going to do that little self-check. And like I said, it doesn't look like he's shown anything that says what hurts, what hurts. So as time goes on and as the game goes on, I have a feeling his confidence is going to go up and more, and he's going to really be looking for shots even more.
We've spoken in length about Wami Chongsun having to step up. He's got 11 points. And here comes Terrafirma again. They love to run. And Rosser able to get 2 more points, ups their lead to 4.
Yeah, even that last shot by Rosser, I think in years past, he might not even have taken that shot. So the good thing is he's taking those shots, and now he's making those shots. So good sign for Terrafirma.
We have a 30-second timeout here with 47 seconds remaining in the first half. And Terrafirma has played great basketball here. They might not have left San Miguel in the rearview mirror, but then they were able to fight off the comeback run of SMB. And sometimes, Coach, that's harder to do than establishing the lead in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, they're in a good position to not only maybe pull off a steal. You might call it a steal, since they're definitely not the favored team in today's game, being 0-4. But they're in a position to at least give themselves a chance. That's what coaches want. compete. Give yourself a chance to get that W at the end of the game.
And it's also important for them to get a win, not just to end the slump,
Yes.
but because they only have 8 games left
Correct.
in their schedule. This one included. And you
Correct.
saw the tournament format. The bottom 8 teams get eliminated.
Yeah.
And the moment that these players, these teams, coaches, everyone in the organizations left their homes, yes, they knew they were going to miss their loved ones, but they also wanted to spend as much time as long as they can in Pampanga, because that meant, you know, the longest team to spend time inside the bubble would be the champions.
Absolutely. That's a great thought there, Jet. So, you know, I was just admiring that last play, even though it turned into a turnover. The simple fact that T. Rome was going north and south with his jitterbug moves is a good sign for San Miguel. Look at McCarthy and Ross kind of jawing at each other a little bit. But again, going back even a little bit further, you talked about the tournament format. Every game is so important. As we look at the Ross and McCarthy once again getting a little jittery.
And Ross getting the better of that.
Okay, I'm gonna talk
With
to
the
each other.
response there. You're going to have to watch out for that, the former teammates.
I love watching those things happen. But anyways, every game is important. This is a single round robin. So if you get a W over a big team right now, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and Ross and McCarthy go chest to chest right before they headed back to the locker room. But you know, Terrafirma had done enough to take the lead, and they have been led by Wami Tiongson, who has 11 points.
I mean, he's got such an upside. I really believe he's their #1 scoring option, and he's really proved he can, play with the big boys in this first half.
This is the second game back in the restart of the Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021. The Terrafirma Jeep up 42-40 over the San Miguel Beermen. Jutsulit coach Vince, he's on deck for you here on PBA Rush. What exactly happened there? How did Terrafirma get this 2-point lead, Coach?
Well, definitely they were working hard, and they were making good things happen. They were very active. They went in not fearing the beer, and they had guys who were making stellar plays happen like that, like Chongson, really making good things happen for his team in the first quarter.
Absolutely. And in the second quarter, we saw better connection for the San Miguel Beermen, and they would take the lead later in this quarter thanks to their three-point shooting. But you see here, Terrafirma still had their foot on the gas pedal, and they would, as the halftime scores to just reclaim that advantage.
Correct. You know, they San Miguel, that is. I look at them like in a battle. They're like a big tank. It takes a while for the tank to get going, but once the tank gets going, it don't stop. So look at some of the numbers here at halftime. You know, it's pretty close as far as field goal percentage goes. Terrafirma just with a 1% lead there, but look at the blocks. San Miguel 5-0. You know, you really have to think twice about going against the Kraken and the Monster inside. But points off turnovers on the side of Terrafirma rather, and as well as bench points practically double, or more than double I should say, 20-9. Leading scorers are Chongson and Fajardo for Terrafirma and San Miguel.
That's right, and you know, it's a great sight for San Miguel to have Junmar Fajardo and Terrence Romeo leading the way for them in terms of scoring. Two guys they rely on a lot.
Correct.
However, look at Tuami Tiongson stepping up to the challenge. No Munzon for the rest of the conference. No Adams in this game. And Tuami Tiongson, he knows that the burden will fall on his shoulders, has truly taken on that role, leading Terrafirma to a 2-point advantage. Those halftime stats brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Earlier we were mentioning, you know, that Junmar Fajardo has extra motivation with the recent passing of his mom, and again we offer our prayers to the family, to Junmar, and we made this little tribute. Mrs. Marites Fajardo, the real MVP. He raised not only a spectacular basketball player, but an incredible human being in Junmar Fajardo. Our prayers again go out to Junmar and the Fajardo family. Meanwhile, as we begin this second half, we're all tied up at 42. And San Miguel immediately scoring. Much like Blackwater knew about TNT, Terrafirma knows that this San Miguel team always packs a punch. They always have, you know, a trick up their sleeves, and they go straight to Junmar Fajardo. Why not?
Well, that's an old trick that seems to keep working. No surprise there. If you get the Kraken down low within about 5-8 feet, it's pretty much money every time.
Junmar gets to 11 points, and that's also his 8th rebound. He's on pace to get to the numbers of Junmar 2 years ago in his last MVP year.
You're right about that, Jed. He's got a nice little pep in his step as well. Seems to be moving very well. Looking for his shot, is very confident going up, and he's really taking that shot off his fingertips. Looks really good. Look at it. He just carves out spaces. You're not as big as I am. Get out of my way. I'm going to score my 2 points right now.
Those were buckets from Arwin Santos and Junmar Fajardo to open up the third quarter. The common denominator between those two buckets, they came from assists from Terrence Romeo.
Wow. That means Terrence is learning. You got to play team ball if you really want to win championships. And, for a long time, it was like Terrence against the world. And now that he's, matured in his in his style of play as well. He's realizing you can't always do it alone. You got to lean on somebody else. And these other guys are obviously great players as well. So, he's learning that team ball is most important.
And that was also something that we saw, particularly in that shot from Arwin Santos. Coming off that pick and roll action, Terrence was immediately looking at where Arwin would go, and his eyes never touched the basket, made contact or directed towards the basket because he already saw that there was a good pass for Arwin.
Correct. And years past, Terrence would say like, "I got 1 millimeter. I'm gonna take the shot." Now he's actually looking to pass, when it's needed. Not necessarily pass first, but when other guys are open, I mean, we're talking about MVPs as well. You got to get them the rock because once they have their confidence and they establish themselves inside, gives them so much more space outside.
And it's also a part of understanding his role with SMB because when he was with Global Port, his role also was to take the lead in terms of scoring and score as many points as he can so they could win.
It's like shoot, 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 kind of like a car running until the wheels fall off, and that's what he did. That was his role. Get all the points he could because, it was hard to find a second or a third leading scorer on that team, but here, it's not hard. You just look, left or right, and they're pretty much going to be able to get it done.
It's harder to look for someone who can't score 20 points for you in a certain game. But again, Terrafirma has done well enough for them to stay close. And like you said earlier at the top of our coverage, you were saying that all Terrafirma wants to do here is to compete for 48 minutes, put themselves in a position to try and win it on the 48th minute. However, Terrence Romeo, he says, hey, I can score still.
Yeah.
Let me just remind you of what I can do.
Look at this explosive move to the baseline. And, Terrence has really got this knack, despite his stature. He's not a huge guy to really take any kind of contact and still be able to score. It's really a great asset for him.
I feel like it's also a huge thing for Terrence to be reunited with Alex Cabagnot in SMB. Because during his time with Global Port, there were several veteran mentors that passed or, had a stint with Global Port. There was Denok Miranda for some time, Mike Cortez for some time, Josh Urbistondo also spent time there, and Alex Cabagnot for a while. And it was with time. Sol Mercado was also there.
Oh, yeah.
It was Alex Cabagnot that seemed to have had that strongest connection with Terrence, and those two guys would work out, would spend a lot of time together off the court, and you could really tell that Romeo, even in his earlier years in the league, really respected.
Thought we were gonna see the.
I thought so too.
Back in the old day, anyways.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they still allow. I think they don't allow the planting of the foot on the backboard, but at least an Arwin Santos dunk, I thought we were going to see one.
Still warming up.
The webs weren't ready. Terrence Romeo, and those are
two layups back to back to a team that's so powerful. You can't give up any easy shots. They just gave away 2 in a row, so they got to do a better job at defensive transition, getting back on defense.
This is a smart, quick timeout for Terrafirma as San Miguel starting to get in rhythm here. And that's definitely the scariest side for any team going up against a team as potent as the San Miguel Beermen. When they're starting to get that momentum rolling, that's when they're the most difficult to stop.
I agree. And what I am very impressed about with this team as well is how unselfish it is. They don't care who scores as long as we score, that type of mentality. So whoever's open, you're going to get the ball. And you can see it even when Junmar is posting up. He's looking for guys who are in better position even than him, and he's willing to pass it. You can't say that for all teams. That just shows you how unselfish this team is. They really put a premium on getting the great shots to good players and not the other way around. And that's how you would really want to run your team. And kudos again to Coach Leo Austria and his staff for really getting that message through to his players.
Here's Terrafirma after the quick stoppage that they requested for. They go to Aldrich Ramos. Wow, taking it to the post.
Yeah, well, that's a mismatch. He usually doesn't. He usually wants to face up and shoot that 15-footer. But I think he's got around a 4 or 5 inch, height advantage on Ross. So, and they get the turnover.
Aldrich sends it inside to Kahilig, and I thought they were very hesitant. As you see, Kahilig telling Aldrich, take the shot.
He can take the shot. He's proven he can take the shot, but he didn't take the shot. So, sometimes coaches will pound it into as well. If you're a shooter and you don't shoot, then you're actually doing the team a disservice because other guys are getting themselves in position to either go get that offensive rebound because they expect you to take the shot. But if you don't take the shot, it kind of throws off the rhythm.
And San Miguel, scoring off of that turnover for Terrafirma. On the floor now for SMB, you got Ross, Romeo, Fajardo, Lassiter, and Santos. Almost a steal there. Tiongson puts it up, no good. They get a fresh 14. Ramos will put up the 3, falls short.
At least he shot that one. He was open again. Oh man, look at him trying to guard Fajardo. Guy's so big.
This was a dream matchup. This is a dream matchup for Laput. The question is, will it still be his dream after this game is through? Romeo getting that board. They're off and running. San Miguel has pushed the pace here in the third. Too strong for Santos. And he'll say that was a pass for Fajardo.
Yeah, he wants the assist. But, like it or not, that's just another 2 points. And slowly but surely, San Miguel grinding out a bigger and bigger lead.
San Miguel has outscored Terrafirma 16-6 in this third quarter. Reminiscent of what we saw in that earlier game between TNT and Blackwater.
You gotta get a foul. I think it's on Lassiter. Oh, they will give it to Junmar.
Look at this, Arvin overshoots it.
I think it definitely slipped out of his hand. Or do you want to call it a pass?
We'll ask Arvin later on.
Okay,
Nonetheless, we'll call it 2 points for SMB. The Kraken entered this game averaging 10.8 points and 8.3 rebounds. He already has 14 and 9 here in the third quarter.
Junmar really showing no ill effects of any type of injuries whatsoever. Again, those are solid numbers even for an end of a game. But like you said, we're still here with virtually, 18 minutes left in this ball game. So, a lot of good things still left, to happen, and opportunities for him to even pad those stats more.
More importantly, San Miguel with a lead here that Tiongson trims down to 6. But even with the runs that SMB has gone on, Terrafirma has not allowed them to break this game open.
that's because they're not giving up. I mean, the competitive spirit is really still there. So, you know, San Miguel does their thing, Terrafirma comes right back and does their thing. So, you know, you don't see a lot of, you know, just disheartening plays coming from Terrafirma because, you know, again, they're also pretty well coached and, you know, they know that they have to always compete.
There have been so many times already in this third quarter alone that we've seen San Miguel pick that ball off of a guy who was just, you know, had his head turned.
Some careless turnovers from Terrafirma, you know, and you got to give credit to San Miguel as well. Really pressuring the wings, getting their hands out into the passing lanes. So they're forcing Terrafirma to make those passes just a little bit farther out than they're used to. And sometimes, you know, it just results in a turnover.
Look at that, Laput just careless with holding out that basketball, and Romeo saw it, had the nose for it to get away. They're reviewing right now a possible flagrant or deliberate foul there.
Yeah, I think it should have been. Yeah, good call, because he was clearly in front of the defender, and the ball was a couple steps in front of them as well. So San Miguel is going to have to do what I think Talkentex did, which is go on a free throw shooting practice binge in the next coming days as well. Missing quite a few free throws there.
That's right. They are now 6 for 13.
That's not normal for them. I mean, they're really much better than that usually, but just not today.
Yeah, Terrence Romeo is 3 out of 5, and even though that's 60%, only missed 2 out of his 5 attempts. That's already a little less than what you would expect from someone like Terrence. Ross, great pass to Fajardo, who is fouled by Ramos. That's the unselfishness of the stars of SMB that you were talking about.
He could have easily passed or taken that shot, but he elected to pass it off for a nice interior pass. You know, would you rather a 6'3" guy go at it inside or a 7-footer go hard? So nice unselfish basketball from Ross.
If Fajardo knocks down that free throw, just as you were saying, well, is Junmar practicing a windmill? Is he trying to bring out a windmill in this game?
I don't know. Could be. So, let's see how Terrafirma responds.
Yeah, they are in
it's double digits.
here.
It's double digits already. So
scoring this quarter is 22-8 in favor of the Beermen, so they've really limited the production of the Jeep. Ross are trying to ignite something. That one-hander taken away by Fajardo. It's him and Romeo leading the way for SMB. Arwin Santos helping a little bit more.
Wow, that is such an athletic play. And Arwin just literally jumped backwards, was like really on his heels there, practically sitting down and able to get that shot off and make it.
And people tend to forget that Arwin is already 40 years old.
He is? I thought he was 21. Right. No, he's one of those guys that's going to be like, even when he gets really old, he's going to always look like he's in shape. Again, look at that, how far. He actually took off from right about the side of the shaded lane there. He ended up about 3-4 feet back because he really jumped backwards to get that space to get the shot off. And because he's kept himself in such great shape, I mean, he's never really, you know, ballooned up or put on extra pounds. So he's given his knees and his ankles and his lower back and all that stuff, you know, a nice rest. So it's not like he's been exerting too much pressure on the joint. So he's still in great shape, still very sprightly, and you know he can hit those big shots.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, that 15-footer by the elbow, that has been one of his most lethal weapons. And of course, that three-pointer that has truly saved SMB many times before.
But again, the different dynamic of having a guy like Cabagnot out, we don't know for how long. Hopefully it'll just be short, of course. But it'll obviously give a chance to other guys to get more playing time, but you know they're also going to have the responsibility of having that extra playing time. They got to come up with the numbers.
Gabayni. That's the spring that you were talking about from 40-year-old Santos getting the block and the tip to his teammate, sending Perez in transition, and CJ draws the foul. He'll head to the free throw line.
In the open court, there's not a guy who you probably fear more than CJ Perez coming right at you. So quick, so explosive, can go any direction. I guess the only one I might put in the same level is maybe like a Blur.
Oh, yeah.
Just coming at you so quick, you don't know where they're going.
You know, Perez has had limited minutes in this game, actually. He has only played about 12 minutes. You can probably credit that to the great showing that they're getting from Terrence Romeo right now. Terrence.
Wow.
See that?
Wow.
That head and shoulder
That was
fake.
so quick.
Like a Hesley. And the ball was in his hands the entire time he did that.
You know, again, he's one of those guys, kind of like a Huela, always practicing on his craft, always working on, you know, what's the next big move that's coming up, and he perfects it. There's no secret as to why he's as good as he is. I mean, he's obviously naturally gifted, but he works super hard on perfecting those moves.
And Terrence, he always looks back at the time that he would play along the streets in Cavite, and you know the rise, that everything, the rise to fame, everything he had to go through. And for a lot of PBA players, that's where they started, playing in the streets.
Ooh.
Big rejection right there. Camson gets it back though, will challenge again, this time getting the bucket.
What a nice block there by Arwin Santos. So, he's got like these extended arms. They're just so long.
That is why he is called Spider-Man. It looks like he might have hurt himself on that play defending Dautua. Tillier leaves it to Camson. He hesitated because Santos was there.
Again, don't let his lean frame fool you. He's what I call skinny strong. You know, guys like Arwin Santos, he look like they can just sort of push him over. But no. He's very, very strong.
We have this timeout brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. We're back here on the air on PBA Rush. Chad Sulit and Coach Vince Season delivering you the action all the way from the Davsu Gym in Bacolor, Pampanga, where Terrence Romeo is lighting it up. 19 points in his return. Was injured in the very first game of San Miguel here in the Philippine Cup, but that month-long break allowed him to recover, and here he is again doing Terrence Romeo stuff.
You know, look out world, look out league, because Terrence is back. He's got a new look, maybe a little lighter because of the new look. I don't know, but he's playing definitely well. 7 out of 13 from the field, looking for other guys when they're open. Being a real good team player. He's looking tough. He's looking smart. He's looking unselfish.
Terrafirma trying to catch up as they have fallen behind here by 14, even after those free throws from Camson. It's Batillier given the tough task of trying to lock down Romeo. But the switch puts him on Perez now, former teammates. Here's Terrence, shoots over the D, unsuccessful that time. Off and running are the Jeep. Batelier, wise decision to go to the left side.
And you can tell Mo was thinking about pushing him a little bit with left hand. Left hand was out. It just didn't make contact. Smart move. Just let him go.
San Miguel slowing it down now. About 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
That's his move. That's his move. Just back him down. Go hard one way. Spin the other way. Because the monster is a load down there. And he makes a little bit of contact and you'll go flying.
And Mo and Junmar are two different players, but equally effective down in the block. Too strong was that pass from Romeo.
Good idea. Just, I guess you could say poor execution. But once again, Terrafirma turning that ball over off of errant passes. Give credit to San Miguel for really pressuring on defense.
Zelda gets it on the 10-footer. But then Zelda is also a guy who showed us many times before that he can score, and he might have to take on some of the responsibility of points production for Terrafirma. Back to that matchup against Lapot. Tautua that time gets stopped. Romeo there to pick it up. That jumper rolls out, but then two Terrafirma players battling for that board, eventually losing it out of bounds.
I don't know what he's saying, but it looks like he's saying he's calling for a foul. The only one he can call for the foul is his own teammate. He's the only one to hit him. Oh, right over the top. Great pass by Ross. Almost.
Here's Perez. Slithering through. Doesn't get the roll. Zelda attacking the defense. Gets it off the glass.
Nice little burst for Zelda in the past couple trips down court.
Yeah, that's going to be huge for Terrafirma because, again, you know, no Monzon, no Adams in this game. Chongson not on the floor right now, so the question will be, where will the points come from? Apparently, Zelda will be the provider for now. But Tautua, again, just enjoying that matchup, coach.
Monster Mo with the left-handed jump hook there. Ooh, what a rip.
Yeah, taken away so easily by Chris Ross. And he will lay it in, the third uncontested layup for SMB in this quarter.
Yeah. Coaches will say that's just criminal. We cannot let that happen. We expect to win this ball game.
You know, San Miguel already has 18 turnovers in this game, but a lot of those happened in the first half. Terrafirma has caught up. They have 15 errors for themselves. And look at the emotions in this game. I'm sure these players just happy that they are back on the hard court, able to play the game that they love. But only one can come out with a W after this game. We got 12 more minutes between the San Miguel Beermen and the Terrafirma Jeep. The Beermen up by 14. Here are the games tomorrow, September 2. Yes, we are be playing on Thursdays. NLEX versus Alaska, 2 p.m. And then Rain or Shine versus Phoenix at 4:35 p.m. All games will be live on PBA Rush and Smart Giga Fest and Book News Live as well tomorrow on One Sports. Now, Coach Vince, it's always important, body language in basketball, in any sport really. And what we saw in that last huddle by Terrafirma before they went back on the court for the fourth quarter, we saw a team that wasn't ready to give up.
Yeah, I mean, they're on the same page. They all want to compete, and you know, it's never over till the overly above body index woman sings. So that's what they say anyway. So you got to keep competing. And if you're a coach, I always look at these types of situations as, who am I playing next game? Because if you're going to, you know, in any way show or even actually give up, then why should I play you going forward? So again, this is your test as well as a player.
And look, they get a 3-point play right in their first possession of the fourth and get within 11 points.
Yeah, that's again, it's not insurmountable. And then they get a turnover, possible another, but a counter turnover and a double turnover situation.
Well, the ball will stay right now with...
I think San Miguel. It goes back to San Miguel.
Call. Okay. Initially, they said it was going to be Terrafirma basketball, giving it back to SMB, and I'm sure Mo would love this matchup against Aldrich Ramos.
Oh, but it goes off his foot.
Yeah, the thing is, you know, he enjoyed the matchup against Lapot earlier, but Aldrich is a veteran. That's an experienced guy, has had to guard so many guys down in the post.
And the more you play in the league, the more you realize how to guard, the type of position you need to have. This kid is really good. Again, he just needs to be a little more assertive, and he could be even better. But he's showing that he can do it. Zelda.
There is attacking. And you see, at any point of the game, there's someone to worry about. When you're playing the San Miguel Beermen. Earlier, you had Romeo and Fajardo, and now there's Tautua and Perez.
Yeah, you really got to worry about everybody, I guess. There's no, like I said, there's no real, like, you know, to use the old words, there's no scrub that you can just say he's just there to fill up space. No, all these guys are, you know, bona fide, what I call killers. You know, they're winners, and they're not afraid to take that dagger shot or to dive on that loose ball or make it happen. I mean, these guys are just bona fide killers. They want to win, and they're not going to hold back when it comes to doing that.
CJ Perez, you know, he may be low in scoring in terms of this particular game, but he actually is San Miguel's leading scorer in the tournament, averaging 17.5 points. And he's doing this playing their last 3 games off the bench.
Looks like...
Oh no,
I hope it's not another hand injury.
Holding on to his left hand. Looks like it got hurt there. And yeah, hoping that it's nothing serious. But Mo getting called for a foul there, and he quickly...
That's because of that left hand right there. You saw it, right?
Yeah.
Left hand on his traps. And again, you can replay it to death, and you're still going to see the same thing. Mo had his hand on him, and you can't do that. Even a hand check is not allowed, correct?
What Mo is saying is that Batiller tripped on his own feet, which is also true, but he might, you're right, Coach Vince, he might have had a hand there on the body of Batiller. And now Terrafirma within 9.
Again, they're not out of the woods. San Miguel can't just say, hey, we're done. No. You got a whole 48-minute game to play, and you're still 10 minutes away from that. So
Santos attacking? Another problem to worry about if you're Terrafirma. Arwin has got 17.
He's played well today. Very well.
Perez with the board. 9:45 in Terrafirma.
Whoa!
We'll have to get used to CJ Perez being on the other side and not in their huddles in their bench and scoring for them.
You know, plays like that just don't seem humanly possible if you're a player, because he was going one direction. He shot a ball about 45 degrees to his right. Not an easy play at all.
Look at that, Chris Ross. You know, he just knew how to time that tap. It took 3 taps before he was able to knock that ball out of Gabayni's hands, but all of the taps were clean.
Look at this play once again. Look how far he was going to one direction and was able to come back with just feathery touch, do a finger roll to his right. Wonderful play from CJ.
It wasn't exactly that, but you were asking about that Pinoy step, right? Well, just
There it is.
go ahead and watch CJ Perez. I'm not sure if that particular play
yeah.
qualifies as it.
You know what it reminds me of? It's like, I don't know if you watch athletics or, you know, track and field, but it kind of looks like the first 2 steps of a triple jump.
Yes, definitely.
It's like, see how far I can like be like a gazelle in Africa and just jump as far as I can.
Yep.
Twice in a row. There it is. I figured it out. So what should I call it? The gazelle?
that might work.
Think it'll stick? The Filipino Euro step gazelle. No, just the gazelle. Big boy, too big.
Oh, there you go. Motautua. And again, you know,
Yeah.
something that he does is allow Jumar Fajardo extra minutes on the bench to rest and recover, because Mo is a beast of his own.
Look in the rim, look into the back. Oh, there it is. Who are you? Who are you? I'm the monster.
Motautua, you know, he such a funny guy, but when he's doing when it's business, it's
Yeah.
go time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh man, he's locked in.
Definitely. You know, he's one of those guys, if you didn't know him, you'd probably be very afraid of him just looking at him. You know, like, this is a big dude, and he's got tattoos, and maybe I should be afraid. But just a nice kid. I mean, he's got a great head on his shoulders. He's smart, and you know, he's good natured. But when it comes, like I said, when you step across those lines, you're within the basketball court. It's monster Motua.
San Miguel re-erecting a double-digit advantage. It's now up to 13 now. Autua slithering through, short on that left-handed layup. Yongson out to Cahilig, open along the corner, and Andres Cahilig will be able to hurt you if you leave him open.
That's a kid I think they should really look for more. He's got that ability to make shots, but you need to set him up. He's not the guy who's going to make up his own shot.
We have a timeout brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. We've seen Terrence Romeo and what he has produced for SMB. We've shown you the numbers of Jumar Fajardo. It doesn't end there. There's a long list, and Arwin Santos is obviously part of that.
Arwin Santos just been doing it and doing it well for many years. Today with 19 points, 4 blocks, amazing. 6 boards, shooting a high percentage, and you know, just the veteran leadership that he brings is something you can't put too lightly.
Oh, nice pass there. Tiongson spotting Ganuelas Rosser. And Terrafirma again with a mini run. they're hoping to extend this and get closer to SMB.
Gotta keep doing those little 4-point switches. Get stops, get buckets. They can do a couple more of those. Good things. Oh, nice block there by Rosser. Possible foul on Mo as well. Oh, okay, the referee changed his call. He originally was going to give it to San Miguel, and well, I think he made the correct call there. Referees are human too.
Absolutely. I've always thought that if professional players are allowed to miss shots and, you know, we don't crucify them for missing some of their attempts, we can't crucify referees for sometimes getting calls mixed up.
Oh, maybe he looked at faces and not uniforms, because Rosser used to play for San Miguel. But Terrafirma, you know, really doing well here. He's talked about that mini run. They're on a little 7-0 mini run.
In this, you know, the return of Junmar Fajardo on the floor for SMB, it's a high sign of respect that the Beermen have for Terrafirma, understanding that they're going on this rally and they have a legit opportunity to try and threaten the Beermen. That was a beautiful move for Kahilig, but even more effective was the putback by Gabayni.
Keep going. Now that's a 9-0 run. Only down by 6 with 6.5 to go here in the fourth, the payoff period. How will San Miguel respond?
Well, there's a guy they go to, but usually he makes that. You see the frustration from Fajardo missing that. Calvo calling the shots for Terrafirma. Gabayni coming up to set a pick, and that was just too tight of a space for that handoff. Ross getting off the glass.
And that breaks the ice for San Miguel. Get some buckets. Now they're up by 8.
Chris Ross looking for a foul there, none whistled. 8-point lead for SMB. 7 on the shot clock for Terrafirma. Hyung-son attacking towards the middle. Looking to draw the foul, but as always, you know, Chris Ross playing excellent defense. Leading the break as well. San Miguel unable to score there, and Ross may have pushed. Definitely did.
May have definitely pushed. This is more like it, but you know, Chris Ross, you know, you gotta give him credit. He was trying to go for that offensive board, just got a little too handsy on the effort there. So, see, McCarthy comes back. We haven't seen much of him lately. Ever since he got into that little verbal tussle with Ross, he kind of
you know, at the half.
Yeah.
And he knocked down a couple of big baskets as well.
So 8 points, not insurmountable. Not easy, but not insurmountable. Oh, it got stuck in the air. That's why they say don't jump pass. Oh.
And Junmar says don't jump when you block, because he still gets the shots even if he doesn't jump. Just as what we saw there. McCarthy lines it up short on that three-pointer, but they do get the basketball back. Hyung-son short again. Fatigue may be becoming, you know, a factor here for the Jeep.
Killer. Another wide open layup for San Miguel. Stretches that lead once again to double digits. And just when you thought Terrafirma was going to go on a little run again, there goes San Miguel off to the races.
18 fast break points for SMB. Only 8 for Terrafirma, and the lead for the Beermen is 10. Gusto mo ba ng kakaibang viewing experience sa PBA? Register to join the PBA Virtual Fan Experience and become a Bida fan. Dahil dito sa PBA, tayo ang Bida. Registration link will be posted a day before each PBA game day on PBA, PBA Rush, TV5, and One Sports Facebook page. Again, if you guys want to be able to view the PBA in a different way and somehow be there in that PBA bubble in Pampanga, virtually at least, you can do so via the link. But we saw the numbers of Chris Ross. The scoring, it got a big boost here in the fourth quarter as he was able to get 4 points in transition, but all the other stuff has come throughout the game.
Yeah, 8 points, 8 boards, and 4 steals. I mean, it's just a typical Chris Ross solid game. He doesn't, you know, he's primarily known more as a defensive stopper, but again, he can get you buckets when you need it as well.
Romeo has it, working on Kyung-son, missing on that shot. Terrafirma within 7 points. They can get closer here. A good intention for McCarthy, but he slipped as he made that ball fake, but it turned into a blessing as Ramos hits the long bomb. They rule it a 2-pointer though. So that's going to be a 5-point deficit that Terrafirma is looking to overcome.
5 points, that's not a lot. Of course, San Miguel does what, probably the best option. Start with Junmar. Oh, but again, like you can see, even though it was a turnover, Junmar looking for other guys. I mean, years past, I would have been back down, till I can't back down anymore. Now he's saying, I'll back down, but I'm also looking for other guys.
Again, another stop for Terrafirma. They get a bucket here, and they get within single possession.
Big shot.
Youngson, money on the three!
What a big one.
Look at that. A fist bump of a celebration. High fives all around for Terrafirma. Playing against the mighty San Miguel Beermen. And yet they are bringing the challenge. They get within 2 points. Terrafirma mounting a comeback here, but the job is not done yet. They are still down by 2 points, and there's still more than 3 minutes left on the clock. But Wami Tiongson, we identified him. He said that he was going to be the one who will have to step up, and boy, he definitely did.
You said that right. I mean, 21 points for him on this 8-0 run. 6 boards, 3 steals, and he's really done it in a big way. Wami Changsan with that huge last 3-pointer. It's a big wham bam thank you man for Wami T.
And he's skilled, he's smart as a basketball player, but above all, probably with Yongson, the biggest thing is he's gutsy.
Yeah, he's not afraid to take the big shot, and not just take it, but make it.
But they're going to have to find ways to stop the offense of San Miguel. You know, offense is working for them. As Aldrich Ramos hits another 3, and you were pointing. You were pointing at Kahilig, who was open on the other side, but Ramos, you know, stepping up, hitting his own.
San Miguel got to do a better job of getting out on shooters. Their confidence is growing and growing.
Romeo left open by the baseline.
Of course, that's a huge shot by Terrence. You know, they know that the rhythm is not really that on right now, but look at the great three-point shooting, 8 out of 24 for Terrafirma.
Man,
Doing San Miguel.
all the shots are falling in, coach.
You know, again, keep competing, give yourself a chance. And right now, they have been competing, they have a chance. They're only down by 1 against the mighty San Miguel Beermen.
They're trying to get Fajardo involved in their offense.
Big
Santos. That doesn't go, and Fajardo was pushed. It was a late whistle, and McCarthy, he reacted there, slamming the ball on the floor. And he might have been lucky that the refs did see. The only thing that hurts Terrafirma a lot, Ramos picks up his 6th foul.
Oh, that's tough. That's a tough way to get a 6th foul as well. And you said it was late. It kind of was. I mean, the ball even bounced before the ref blew the whistle. So, yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough way to go out. You can see.
Look at the reaction of Aldrich Ramos.
I would call that absolute disbelief. What? What did you blow your whistle for?
You know, just looking at that replay, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure. Normally, normally when there's a push, you kind of see that forearm, that elbow extend. I don't know. It looked like Aldrich's was tugged. And the blocking foul called on Cahilig. And this is where Terrafirma will be tested. You see, you know, they're getting frustrated. But then even if Perez takes 2 free throws, they will still be in this game. So, you know, it's about trying to stay away from a technical foul and giving San Miguel extra opportunities.
Wow. Of course, Terrafirma not thrilled with those 2 whistles by the referee. The 6th foul of Ramos and the block, I guess they would call it, against Cahilig.
CJ Perez has had such a tough time from the line in this game. He's only 4 for 9.
Again, free throws are so important. And I always say it only takes 1 point to win a game.
A big block by Romeo. McCarthy tried to get the lead for Terrafirma, but Romeo was there. Here's Terrence against Tiongson. Dancing. Terrence getting the switch. Perez fires away. No. Ball is loose. It will go to Terrafirma.
Now they're going to review that one, but it looked pretty clear to me anyways from my angle that I think the ref made the right call. But again, Terrafirma right there, despite, you know, what they're frustrated with, you know, certain calls by the refs, they still continue to compete, and that's great. They're not losing their focus. I think in years past, or even conferences past, they would have, you know, just sort of said, you know, and let those calls get them out of their mojo, I guess you could say, their rhythm. But, you know, right now, I give credit to Coach John Del Cardell for keeping them focused, keeping them in the moment. Correct call.
There you see.
They can steal it. Terrafirma can steal.
Absolutely. And, you know, they showed a lot of fight here. We'll have 50.2 seconds to try and get the W. the biggest player on the floor right now for Terrafirma, Wami Tiongson. And these were his averages entering this game, 13 and a half and 4.5 assists. He's gotten past those averages, coach, in this game.
Yeah.
21.6 assists, add 3 steals, and he's also shooting 3 for 7 from downtown.
Yeah, well, he's proven he can score, and you know, he's proven he can give out those assists. But can he lead them to victory is the real question. And you know, so far all the numbers are showing that he can do that. So let's just see how these last 50 seconds will pan out. Huge, you know, possession right now for Terrafirma.
This is an incredible opportunity for them
Boom.
to try and get their first win as Tiongson
Boom!
ties it up at 95.
Whammy! Thank you, Mammy. What a great shot.
23 points for Wami Tiongson, and he evens up the count.
Terrafirma asking for a travel prior to CJ calling the timeout. Oh, it gets interesting, doesn't it? I love the last 2 minutes.
It is one of our favorite announcements in life. When the 2-minute mark is announced it signals winning time. And Wami Tiongson, again, you know, just up for the challenge. Knocking down that jumper to tie things up at 95. Twenty-three na. .9 seconds remaining. Tied ball game between San Miguel and Terrafirma. This is the kind of action we all missed. We're just happy that the PBA is back. And Terrafirma taking that delay of game, trying to get a read on what San Miguel will try to do here. It's definitely winning time in Davsu, in Bacolor, Pampanga. Romeo goes to Fajardo. Junmar almost got that. Instead, he'll try to take the lead from the free throw line.
Tried and tested. When in doubt, dump it down to Junmar. A nice little play to get into that pick and roll with T-Rome and Junmar just hits the pick and then goes. Gets the contact almost. Very, very close to getting a three-point play, but he misses. Another free throw. The free throws are really starting to pile up. The missed ones, I should say, for the Beermen, and couldn't come to haunt them. Junmar was 16 points, 11 boards, but missing free throws 2 in a row. Oh,
missing both free throws was Junmar Fajardo. San Miguel is now 15 for 26. Look at the smile.
And that's 22.6, which means Terrafirma just needs to go for the last shot. Go for the W, steal this thing. Let's see. Let's see what happens in these last 22.6.
22.6 seconds remaining, and again, going back to something you said, top of this coverage, you said all Terrafirma wanted to do, or had to do, was give themselves a chance to win at the end of the game. That's exactly what they have done, and they get the possession, which, you know, something you said before we cut to a break, the smart thing might be to wait and try to take the last shot here.
Oh, absolutely. You don't want to give San Miguel a chance to come down this direction. So here they are, Terrafirma at 0-4 going against the mighty San Miguel at 3-1. What are they going to do?
Has the basketball. Ross in front of him. Ross gives up the foul. That's the last foul to give of SMB.
Smart.
Terrafirma no longer has a timeout. San Miguel has one more.
So they got to have a really good inbound play. 4 seconds is a long time. You can take at least 2 or 3 dribbles with that and still get a shot off.
Extremely important, make a good inbounds play. They do get it to Gabayni. Tiongson puts it up. No, and they're going to review how much time should be left on the clock. Or are they saying it has run out? Because initially there was still 0.2 of a second when that ball bounced out of bounds.
Let's see how they review that. Interesting. I thought that he took that a little quick. I think he could have taken a dribble. Look at it once again.
Our score is 95 all. We're going into
2 seconds. See, there's 2 seconds left.
There's, you know what? There definitely should have been more time there. Because check the clock. When that ball bounces,
It never touched anything. So
Yeah.
it's only when it hits the ground that the clock should stop.
exactly. But you know, they ruled it end of regulation, 95 apiece for these two teams. We got overtime from Bacolor, Pampanga. Free basketball. 5 extra minutes between San Miguel and Terrafirma in the first day of the PBA restart here in the Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021. Oh boy, it's been a tough battle. And do you know, Coach Vince, that this is the first overtime game of the conference?
And what a doozy we got going forward. I mean, San Miguel has played pretty good, but Terrafirma has really played, I think, better than they've played in the entire conference. So they have a chance to really stick it to one of the best teams in the league. So let's just see who can execute and do the things necessary to get this W here in the last part of this game.
That was such a beautiful move from Eric Anson. Did it
Yes.
against his former teammate in CJ Perez.
Nice up and under move. Made it look like he was going to turn around and do a shot. Gave that fake. Oh, and they're going to get an offensive foul against Junmar.
You know what's tough here for Terrafirma? They do get a basket and a stop in the first 2 possessions. Look at this.
Up and under. Bye-bye.
Completely bought that. CJ Perez did. And he was gone.
That's a nice fundamentally sound move from Kamson.
For Terrafirma, this guy, Tiongson, leads the team with 23 points. Second is Aldrich Ramos with 17. But he fouled out late in that 4th quarter. Camson has it against Santos. Gabaini trying to get position underneath. Camson, difficult shot.
Great defense by Arwin Santos. Just great defense. Stayed in front of his guy and used those super long arms of his.
There's that single high screen from Fajardo. That's going to be a foul whistled on Terrafirma. It's going to be on McCarthy.
That's his fourth foul. First team foul for Terrafirma.
And, you know, guys like McCarthy who came from San Miguel,
14 seconds.
you know, they always want to sort of say, hey, you know, you got rid of the wrong guy. So he really wants to win this ball game. Oh, too low, too easy. Too low. Great look once again from Chris Ross. You know, always the first option is Junmar. If you got him within 2 feet, I mean, it's money. Wide open.
And also, you know, it's just great effort as well for Junmar Fajardo. Knows how to position himself. But it's been these free throws, Coach.
Yeah, let's see. He can make, oh, missed another one. Yeah, they are just opening the door every time with those missed free throws to a Terrafirma upset.
That's the 12th miss of SMB from the line. Camson thought about it. Decides against it. Draws closer.
Oh, what a
Gets
shot.
some English on it.
And he wanted to foul the boot. He's telling the ref.
Terrence Romeo has been scoreless for a while.
Oh,
Almost turnover there. Hard working against Gabaini. Junmar hits the front of the rim that rolls out.
good strong rebound from Kahilig there.
Here's a chance for Terrafirma to extend their advantage here. Oh, a foul there whistled as Romeo tried to catch up. Fight against that screen. He caught a bit of Tiongson, and Wami will head to the line.
Wow, he's definitely a marked man. They're paying special attention to what he's doing. Let's look at this play once again from Camson, who does that finger roll to Santos that he points at somebody right after.
Tiongson is one of the leading scorers of Terrafirma. He's tied with Roosevelt Adams, averaging 13.5 a game. And again, you know, he's just turned it up. A higher gear, another level here. As Terrafirma, they're starting to smell that first win of the conference. They leave Terrence Romeo open though. Money on the three.
Don't leave the killer open. He will burn you, even if he's been quiet.
He was silent for a while, but
Another
you know,
killer. Killer.
Oh man, what a game! What a showdown this is starting to become. Tiongson and Romeo exchanging threes.
Up by 4.
Ross looking for Romeo. You know Terrence wants it. You know he does. Dancing the step back. Had his foot on the line. That's a long two.
It's shall I say personal? Let's see if Johnson tries to go at Terrence this time. Oh wait, no, he's not guarding him now. They
It's
switched.
McCarthy with the basketball now. 1.5 minutes remaining. Gabaini sets the screen. McCarthy forces it up, and a foul is whistled.
It's a good call. It's
McCarthy's pumped up,
yeah, it's a good call.
but he's got to be careful. I mean,
He's teetering on getting a technical because he's getting a little too chippy.
and I think there will always be a chip on his shoulder whenever he's playing against San Miguel. Exactly to your point earlier. McCarthy, though,
Gotta make those.
missing.
Look, he's not even gonna shake. Lassiter and Santos were out there trying to shake his hand. You're like, hey, you're on the other side of the fence now, buddies.
This is going to be a crucial one. And he makes it.
He's still talking. This is fun to watch, guys. Gotta love PBA action.
3-point lead for Terrafirma. Got a minute and 26 remaining. Timeout requested by SMB. Coach Leo Austria now has to go deep in his bag and pull out something that will allow them to get a bucket here. Doesn't matter at this point if it's a 2 or a 3. Eric Camson also stepped it up in the fourth quarter and in OT.
11-7 for him, and he's been very aggressive. That's what I like about him. Now, again, can Terrafirma get a stop? Or can San Miguel get that score? So it's a big, big possession. Of course, old reliable, go down to Junmar, see what happens.
Santos.
Oh, that's a
baseline jumper.
good help defense from Rosser there. Oh, and they get it, so they get the stop, Terrafirma.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, but I felt like it wasn't the optimal spacing for SMB because, you know, Arwind was by the free throw line, so his man could easily kind of help on Junmar and go back to him.
I don't think Arwind actually saw Rosser on his left flank there, so great play by Rosser.
But a quick shot there as well, you know.
Not a good possession for Terrafirma either, so let's see what happens. Oh!
Ross misses.
Now they're going to get a foul against, is it Junmar? Let's see.
Wow.
That's, you know, the Dyip are taking it to San Miguel in a big way.
Oh, absolutely. And while Camson has been huge, scoring 11 points, it's Wami Tiongson still that it will boil down to, and he is now working with a career high of 28 points.
That's a lot of points. And, you know, just stellar shooting. Just hasn't missed. Eric Campson trying to add on to his 11. Make that 12 points for him now. And nothing will be more important than this 13th for him. If he can make this, this will really stretch San Miguel's options.
How did we get to overtime? Well, what happened in the fourth quarter was 34 points for Terrafirma as compared to 20 only for SMB. And here in overtime, you know, Terrafirma just able to get some stops as well as get some points courtesy mostly of Camson and Kyongson. And now it's San Miguel, you know, with their backs pushed against the wall.
Well, this is where the coaches make the big bucks, like we always say. When it comes down to the last 2 minutes, they got to make these winning plays. So all eyes right now, especially in that San Miguel huddle or on Coach Leo, they gotta get a score. It's must-score time, obviously. But do they go for a quick score? There's a couple different options they could do. Maybe go for the quick 2, or go for the quick 3, or just go for whatever's open. But one thing is for sure, they're gonna have to have at least 2 possessions right now.
Let's see where San Miguel goes. They put it in the hands of Romeo. Terrence getting trapped. Lassiter, who hasn't made much of a dent here. Romeo
Big
now
shot.
over Rosser.
In and out.
No, and the rebound collected by Camson.
Another shot.
And Rosser getting fouled by Ross.
That's a big one. And then they let Rosser go. Now, he's not necessarily a great free throw shooter ever as well, but let's just see if he can muster up the focus here to put these two down, because if he makes these two, I think it's pretty much curtains for San Miguel.
And he makes the first.
So right now, San Miguel has to make at least 2 3-pointers. If he makes this, they got to have 3 possessions. It's less than 16. Uh-oh, left the door open as well.
San Miguel might need the 3 now. Arwin will miss. And there's a battle for the rebound. It's Ross who's going to get called for the foul, and
Yeah, I think that
might be it. That might be it.
You got that right. That might be it. This is just a crazy game in a lot of ways. Let's just see if McCarthy can make these 2 free throws, sort of win that little verbal tussle war he had with Ross a while ago with the W.
At some point, San Miguel was up by 16 points.
You know, a big thing for me is they just missed so many free throws. They had their opportunities. They got a lot of open, wide open layups. You know, good defense leading to wide open layups, but they missed a lot of free throws. I bet you they wish they had a few of those back.
Hey, you got to give credit to a lot of guys stepping up for Terrafirma. Aside from, you know, the guys like Camson, like McCarthy. How about Joseph Gabayni against a Junmar Fajardo, grabbing 15 rebounds, and all of those efforts complete this 110-104 victory for the Terrafirma Jeep. They arrest their 4-game slide, and they get their very first win in the Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021.
Congratulations to Terrafirma, who goes to 1-4. Like you said, picking up that first one. And San Miguel slides a little bit to 3-2. But, you know, this is a great shot in the arm for Terrafirma's confidence going forward. Good luck to whoever's playing them next, because they got big confidence. Our best player of the game is none other than Wami Chongson, like you said, with a career-high 28 points, 7 assists, 3 steals, shot a whopping 4 out of 9 from 3-point land, and none bigger than that one right there. That was a huge dagger that really gave them confidence. So, you know, great game from Wami and Terrafirma.
Our next level player of the game, Wami Chongson, is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the PBA post-game interview. Congratulations. Congratulations to our best player, Wami Chongson.
Thank you po.
What was your mindset coming into the game? Paano ka nag-ready?
Collectively, nag-prepare kami. Coming into the game, we just tried to have fun. Credit to the coaching staff for giving us a good game plan coming into this game.
Sa tingin mo, Wami, ano yung naging key na naging maganda yung performance mo
I
tonight?
think everyone stayed positive even when we were down. Talagang we played collectively. I give credit where credit is due. Yung teammates ko really stepped up. Everyone stepped up. Eric stepped up. Everyone stepped up. From our coaching staff to our utility, everyone did.
Coach, your thoughts on the game?
Yes, first and foremost, siyempre going to this game with, versus San Miguel, this is a very, very tough team, no? But I tell the guys, tell the coaches, no, just one quarter at a time, no? Just maintain yung focus on defense. Yung offense, patience din naman. So we came up first quarter with good quarter. We came up second quarter with a good quarter. But in the third quarter, we have a bad games. So ginising ko sila, sabi ko, pag ganun pa rin laro natin, di tayo mananalo, wala tayong chance para manalo sa game na to. Then, they changed their attitude. They play good defense. They play full court defense. And the patience is there. Kaya kami nakahabol sa lamang nila.
Wami, career high. It's a new career high for you.
Thank you po.
Ayun. Ano yung motivation mo kanina? Parang ganadong-ganado ka talaga.
Just like with every game, as much as possible, I try to stay calm, try to have fun. You know, at the end of the game, at the end of the day, it's basketball. So, as much as possible, I just have fun and I give thanks to the Lord. Always, the glory goes to Him.
Okay, Coach. Our press friends will be asking questions now. Mr. Eros Villanueva.
Hi, Coach. Good afternoon po. Great win today. Can you tell us po what worked in fourth quarter yung kasi doon po yung mabol from 16 down? And yun nga po, and then in overtime din po, can you talk about Eric Campson's contributions in overtime? Thank you.
Anyway, even though we have a 0-4, no, so I'll keep on motivating with all my players. No, kaya I just talking to them individually, Wami, Eric, the captain ball, and Aldrich, all the veterans. No, basta so we have to play hard every day. No, we have 7 games more. No, I don't want to end up without winning. No. And I told them that if we have a game in this San Miguel, I know this is a strong team, so we have to work hard. No? Just go in the court, play as a game, enjoy playing the game. Yun, ito yung nangyari, nanalo.
Mr. Ruben Terrado.
Congratulations po. Good question po kay Wami. Wami, wala sila Munso and yung nga may mga injuries and paano mo tinanggap yung ano na yun, yung challenge na yun na wala yung mga key players ninyo yung wala? Si Coach na lang, okay. Coach, yun nga, si Wami na lang, ano masasabi mo sa nilalaro niya ngayon? Parang talagang yung break dito sa Terrafirma talagang tinake advantage niya yun.
It's not naman Wami lang, ano? Talagang sinuwerte lang si Wami. Siyempre ako naman, even to my players, no? Kung sino yung magandang linalaro, he can play a lot of minutes inside. No? And of course, Red Zelda is stepping up, Russian is stepping up, and Bon Batilier and some other players, no? Otep Gabayni. So kung sino yung magandang linalaro, pinapalaro ko naman sila. And really want to credit all my assistant coaches, no? They're working hard. No? Pinapadali nila trabaho ko. No? I want to thank to them and some players with the veterans, Eric Campson, Aldrich Ramos, sila nagiging coach sa loob. No? I told them na pag nasa loob sila nang bahala. No? And all the boys, they really play hard to this game. We work hard. Thank you the Lord. At least we won the first win.
Okay, Sir Ray Hoble.
Hi, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you po.
Hi.
And now let's take a look at some game highlights brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. And early on, Terrafirma already was keeping in step with the Beermen. They already had the lead at some point in that first quarter. But the guys that we saw erupt later on, they weren't so fiery yet. Of course, Wami Tiongson always there in terms of scoring for Terrafirma.
When you think of Terrafirma, you think of guys who, can really score individually. But today they really played as a much more cohesive team. A lot of guys stepped up. You got guys like Aldrich Ramos, who's very effective until he got that disqualifying foul, or the last sixth foul, I should say. And you had just a bunch of guys who camps on, really making positive contributions for their squad.
And if you missed the part where it was talked about, Munzon and Adams were both unavailable for this game, so it was quite a big thing for Terrafirma already that they were up by 2 points at the half. But in the third quarter was when San Miguel flexed their muscles and looked like the multi-time champions that they are.
Yeah.
And it is here that they would really create some separation.
Correct. The way it looked to me like San Miguel, in their mindset was like, okay, third period is getting too easy. Maybe Terrafirma's gonna collapse or give up or whatever. But you gotta give credit to Terrafirma. They never did so.
Yeah, and even San Miguel just kept their foot on the gas pedal throughout the third quarter. By the end of it, it was a 14-point lead. It would go up to 16, that lead for SMB in the fourth quarter. But then, just so many things working for Terrafirma, and probably maybe some complacency as well for SMB.
Maybe a tad, but again, the way that Terrafirma played today is the way they can beat any team, which is to speed it up whenever you can and just shoot well. That's the bottom line. They don't have the luxury of saying they're going to get how many offensive rebounds a game because they're just not that big. But if they can push the rock, get up there, and there's that sort of controversial ending we had at the end of regulation. But anyways, if they could just keep pushing that ball, shoot the ball well, spread that court, they can neutralize the height of any team.
Absolutely. At the end of regulation, 95 apiece. In overtime was where Eric Camson went to work.
The beast. Look at this. Up. Bye-bye CJ Perez, and under. Big shot for him to get things going.
That was the first bucket. This was the second one. A finger roll. Look at the English of that. Eventually falling in.
He went hard, and he thought he got fouled as well.
And then, of course, Wami Johnson will also have some contributions in there. Again, a career high 28 points for Wami as Terrafirma collects their first win of the Philippine Cup. It's also the first overtime game, and Terrafirma comes out on top. We have one final game for you on your PBA Wednesday. It's between the Meralco Boats and the Magnolia Pambansang Manok Hotshots. That's coming right up next here on PBA Rush.